Sir, on behalf of All India Trinamool Congress, I rise to speak on the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill 2025. Sir, not to obstruct, but to hold this government accountable for what this bill does and for what it refuses to fix. So let us begin with the government's own number. As of June 2025, 43 of closed CIRP cases ended in liquidation, not resolution. Recoveries average just 33 paise on the rupee. The average CIRP took 602 days, nearly double the statutory limit. Sir, and 78% of ongoing cases have already breached 270 days. 9 years after the IBC was introduced. This is its record. What does this government offer in response? A bill that expands the law, hands more power to financial creditors, weakens judicial oversight, and leaves every structural failure completely untouched. So this bill dramatically expands the scope of insolvency law, new processes, new supervisory power, new frameworks for group and cross-border insolvency. And yet it does nothing to fix the codes that must implement of all these. As of March 2025, the NCLT takes over a year to admit an insolvency application against a 14-day statutory deadline. The Supreme Court itself has noted that tribunals sit only a few days a week due to infrastructure shortfalls, with 12,351 pending IBC cases before the NCLT alone. Sir, the MCA has proposed 50 new NCLT courts to the cabinet. That proposal is not in this bill. This government is adding new floors to a crumbling building without repairing the foundation, sir. The most dangerous shift in this bill is the unchecked expansion of creditor power into territory previously reserved for independent judicial officers. This bill strips the liquidator of quasi-judicial powers and hands the committee of creditors that authority to appoint, supervise, and remove the liquidator. Mid-process with a 66% vote. The COC can even dissolve the company directly. Workers, MSMEs, operational creditors, and government authorities, all of whom rank below financial creditors in the waterfall. And now subject to, sir, process control entirely by the very parties who rank above them. This is not reform, sir. This is a structural conflict of interest legislated. Sir, the new creditor-initiated insolvency resolution process bypasses the court at the point of initiation. The moratorium begins before any court has examined the case for a stretched MSME or a business in a cyclical downturn. This is not a resolution mechanism. It is a coercive tool. And critically, CIIRP can only be initiated by institutions notified by the central government. Not all financial creditors, not operational creditors, not the debtor, only government-chosen institution. That is not law, sir. That is a patronage. So under current law, parties can withdraw an insolvency application before the COC is constituted, allowing early, affordable settlement. This bill eliminates that option. The Select Committee's own data shows that 78% of CIRP withdrawals involve claims below rupees 10 crore and 70% are initiated by operational creditors, MSMEs and vendors. They used early withdrawal to resolve dispute without being trapped in a process they cannot afford. So this bill slams that door shut. With over 20,000 cases already pending before the NCLT. And said, restricting early settlement does not protect the process. It burdens the court further and punishes the smallest creditors most. Sir, this bill mandates that once a default is established, NCLT must admit no other grounds may be considered. These reverse the Supreme Court's position in Vidarbha Industries, which held that NCLT has discretion to examine whether admission all stakeholders without our proposed amendment to clause 4, preserving NCLT's power to reject malified or abusive filing insolvency becomes a weapon available to any creditor who can establish a default on paper. Sir, my demands to the government that first NCLT must retain explicit power to reject fraudulent or abusive CIRP filings. Second, the COC's supervisory role in liquidation must be override the independence of liquidator or the adjudicating authority. Thirdly, sir, avoidance and wrongful trading proceedings must conclude within 1 year with written reasons required for any extension. Sir, 1 minute just said, Honorable Finance Minister stated in her reply that tea workers in Darjeeling are being deprived by the state government. Sir, I would like to draw the attention of this House, sir. Tea garden workers are receiving house under the Banglarbadi Awas Yojana, and they are getting treatment facility for the health scheme 5 lakh rupees.